Alright, here we go again. Good evening, everyone. I'm Daco, and I always tell people that game development is easy. All you need to do is watch 2 to 3 hours of YouTube tutorials. But is that true? I want to find out today. So, I'm going to actually learn game development and see whether it actually does take 2 to 3 hours of YouTube videos. Now I have a timer on the bottom right. I'm going to start that the moment I start watching a YouTube video. And the other thing is I'm not really a fair subject for this test. I am a software engineer by trade. Which means I do have a big head start over people actually starting from scratch. But to counter this at least a little bit, I'm going to be using an engine I've never worked with before. It's the Godot engine, as you can see with the logo currently on screen. And also, I've heard that it uses its own programming language called G-script or something. I don't quite remember. Anyway, technical difficulties aside, this time I'm going to keep listening to my mic output. I want to know when stuff goes wrong, right? I am going to turn off the monitor for the background music though. That's a new thing I wanted to try doing. Because I'm a very silent guy while working. I don't want you guys to get bored. I don't want the vibes to get too dry, so I decided let's have some bejeweled music on the background. Shout out to Skaven, who made these awesome tracks, by the way. I'm just playing a loop here that's 2 hours long. And hopefully that will keep you engaged somewhat audially. Right? At least when I'm not watching a YouTube video. Okay? Without further ado, I think it's high time I turn off the monitor on this. Okay? Now, if everything goes well, you should still be able to hear the music. I did check earlier offline, and you could. But now I'll open up a browser. Here I'm just using Edge. Now I already have this video pulled up. If you catch the previous stream, which I deleted so you won't be able to catch it anymore, I just searched this up and watched through a few ads until I realized my audio was terrible. So that's why I restarted. But I haven't watched more than 10 seconds of this video. Let's just restart. And also you'll hear that awesome automatic audio ducking, hopefully.
Godot, Godot, Godot.
Yes,
whichever you
brackies.
prefer, if you want to use it to make a game, you've come to the right place. I've been making video games for more than 14 years now,
Oh, I forgot
and
to turn on the
recently
timer.
I've fallen in love with Godot. Godot is a great choice for many developers,
There you go.
and pretty beginner friendly.
Plus
Also,
17
it's
at the
open
end.
source and completely free to use. Now, you probably have a bunch of ideas of games that would be cool to make. But no matter if you're dreaming of making an FPS, a 2D platformer, or anything in
not
between
gonna
using Godot,
bring
the
this
first
into full
step is
screen.
of course to install it. Now this process might be a bit tedious, but bear with me now. We go to godotengine.org, press download latest, Godot engine, and we're done. This is a huge advantage of Godot.
Okay, let's do what Brackies here just did. Okay, we're going to... Well, I'm not gonna do exactly what he did, but I'm going to search Godot it here up. And then... Yeah, just download latest, it's right there. Or... Ooh, .NET? C# support? Nah. I do want to learn the G-script or something. Again, I forgot the name of the programming language. Ooh, that's interesting. I thought it'll download quickly, but it's not downloading quickly. So I guess we'll just chill here while this is downloaded. 20 minutes? Okay. Let's continue watching the video, why don't we? Right. Excuse me. There we go.
It's extremely lightweight and can even run in the browser. Now you might want to unzip this folder and place it somewhere you remember. But other than that, we're ready to open up Godot. So let's double click it. And it's going to ask us if we want to look at some example projects. I'll just press cancel. Then we can press new. Name our project, say first game. I'm going to place mine on my desktop under my games folder. Let's create a separate folder for first game. So hit create folder and create an edit. And here we are, a clean slate. Apply.
Okay, normally I personally don't like to do this, where I watch forward first before doing what they tell me to do. Here I don't have much of a choice. I am waiting for the actual engine to download. Wow, that slowed down a lot. What do you mean 30 minutes? Jesus. Well, stuff goes wrong. Who cares, right? But anyway, back to my point. I don't usually like doing this because then I'll attempt to go off of memory, which is not reliable, let's say. It's much nicer for me to stop and do exactly what the videos tells me to do, or whatever article I'm reading or whatever resource, rather than attempt to remember it and then recall it again later. You know what? We have a few minutes. I want to play around a little bit. Let's see. Here we have Edge in OBS. So you know what? Yeah, let's play in OBS for a little bit. I'll put chapters down in the VOD. So if you want to skip around to when I actually start game development, you can see. Isn't that great? Isn't that something I'm gonna remember to do? Transform, right? So let's put this in the center. Oh, okay. Well, I can always just that's not centered. Transform. That is curious. I can bring it in manual, and then if I do transform again, what? Maybe send it to screen. There we go. Okay, what I really want to try is, oh, nice. So you can see my cursor there, but then I can resize the window. Alright, awesome. Anyway, let's check on the download again. 15 minutes. Okay. Well, you get to enjoy the audio. Yeah, the music. I'm going to. I should write something, right? I should write something. Where's my text? There it is. I should write. Let's see here. Downloading the engine. BRB. There we go. Why is that not showing up? Is it the blending mode? Normal. Filters, none. Font, add Atkinson color what? Where is it? Is it behind edge? No. Huh. My text isn't here. Maybe because it's deprecated. Let's try another text. There we go. Yeah, it's a bit too large. Whoa. Alright. I would rather this be Atkinson if I can make it. Well, okay then. Let's check the download again. 15 minutes. Okay, I'll write that down. Oops. There we go. Very professional. Whoa. I can understand why this is deprecated now. It really hates working. Which gives me an idea. Yeah, why not? Let's set it up. So I have opened MS Paint, and I'm gonna add a window capture of MS Paint. Okay. Nope, not another live split. Give me MS Paint. There it is. Huh? Whoa. MS Paint does not like to be captured. What's this? That's cool. Really? Okay then. Let's remove this. Let's try something else. Let's try a game capture on MS Paint. Oh, now it just doesn't capture at all. Curious. Well, let's scratch that then. Yeah, let's delete that. And close Paint. Let's check on the download again. How long will it take? 12 minutes. All right. Right. Yeah, I'm not gonna keep on watching this. You know what I'll do? I'll grab some water because I get dry very fast. All right. Yeah. Let's go. Okay, check on the download. Still 15 minutes. It's gonna be eternally 15 minutes. What's up? Guess everyone likes Go do it. I really want to like play Minesweeper. I think we can play Minesweeper. Wow, that's loud. Out. Okay, so there's a thing here. 2, nothing. 1. Oops. 1. 1. 1, 2, 3. 1. 4. 1. Oops. Okay. Okay. 2. 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 3, 3, 1? Okay. 3, 2, 1, 2, 1. Oops. Let's try again. But first, we check the download. 8 minutes, so I need to update the text. Where is it? There it is. 8 minutes. Okay, try again. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. That's juicy. 1. Yep. 2. 1. 1, 2, 1. Okay. 1, 2. Wait. There we go. 1, 2, 1. Right. 3. 3. Ooh, that's gonna be tough. 1. Right. 2. Oh, that's a beautiful 2. That's a beautiful 1. 2 there means that. 1 there means that and that. 1 there, 1, 1. 1, 1. 1, 2? Ooh, interesting. This tree locked. Yeah. 1 here. So, okay. Here's an interesting thing. 3 must be here. In these 4 boxes. But in these 3 boxes, there must only be 1 bomb. And at least one of these bottom two must be a bomb for this tree. So we can say for sure, like, for example, this tree cannot be this, because then it'll invalidate the one. So these two must be bombs. That's safe. These two are ambiguous, but since we know that the one is here, we can say that that's empty. Okay, now this two only has 2 spots left, so those two are the bomb. This is safe. Right. 2 is done. This 2 has that. That 2 has that. That 2 has none. 4, 2. Okay, same thing. This one must have one in one of these 3. But this 2 must have one in either one of these 2. So this is safe. Right. I don't think I can make any more cool place yet. So let's go to the easier side of the map. 1, 2, tough. 2, okay, not so tough. 3, okay, more easy parts. Let's handle the easy parts first. This 3 is solved, that 3, this 1. Oh, this 4 is tough. Any more easy spots? I don't see any quite so easy. These 2 2s really make me want to do that, but it's probably not gonna be that. Okay, I think we need to make a cool play. Let's do some deduction. Right. So this 2 needs a bomb either here or here. Either way, it's going to count towards this 2's 2ness. So it's ambiguous between these 2, but it's definitely not there. That's 1, so we can empty the rest. There we go. So that's the 2. This 1 empties that. Oh, jackpot. That 3 goes there. That 3 goes there. That 2 empties that. This 1 empties that. This 1 forces that. This 1 forces that. That 2 empties that. And that 2 brings us to the back. This 1 empties some more. That 1 empties that much. This 1 right here empties that much. Alright. While we're continuing, let's check on our download again. 2 minutes. Okay. Let's see if I can beat this minesweeper before the 2 minutes ends. There we go. Let's see here. That 2 is solved. This 2 then solves us that. 2, 3 is solved. 4. That's 4 right there. Beautiful. That 3 is solved. This 3 is solved. This 1 is solved. This 1 opens to... Oh, that one. 5. Okay. This 3 is solved. That 4 is later. 1 here. 2. 1. 1 is there. This 2 unlocks that one. This 2 forces that one. This 2 solves that. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Not yet. Okay, let's do another one. This is another 2 double, right? Because, well, okay. This time, this 2 must have one more either here or here, which is always counts for this 2's bomb, which means the other 2 is there, which means this 1 can unlock that. Not too useful. Okay, let's continue. This 1 is very useful. That 2 is solved. This 4 is solved. 1, 2 definitely there. That 2 is concerning. Oh, this 1 solves that actually. And that goes there. Okay, that's 5, but this 2 unlocks that, and that's 5. 1, this unlocks this much. 3, that unlocks that. This 3 unlocks that. That's 4. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 solved. So, those are open. This one unlocks this much. This one shows us that. This one, this here. 3 here. 3. 2. This 2 only has 1 spot, so that's safe. 1 unlocks this, 2 forces that, unlocks this, unlocks that, that. 3 forced here, 3 forced there, 3 forced there, 4 save. 4 here, 1 skip, 1 skip. Alright, 1 save there, 1 save here. Check on the download real quick. It's not done. I have time still. Ooh, that was dangerous. I almost clicked the right. Oh, never mind. 1. Okay. This 1 needs that 1. That 2 is solved. This 2 is solved. That solves that 2. Is this 4? It is. Look at that. Is this 5? No, it's not. This 1 requires that 1. This 2 solves to make the 5. This 2 solves that. This 2 requires this. This 3 requires all 3. This 2 is solved. 3, 2. Ooh, another split. Let's do that later. This 2 solves that. That 3 solves this. This 3 kind of stuck. Let's move around again. This 2 is solved. That 3 is solved. This 3 is solved. This 2 is solved. 1 there, which unlocks these 3. That 1 unlocks this whole bunch of cells. That 4 is fixed. That's 3 is solved. Okay. This 3 solves that 1. This 4 not yet. That 1 solved here. This 1 is 2. This 2 goes there. This 3 kind of tough. This 2 must go there. So this 3 is solved, and this 3 is solved. This 2 is solved. I'm gonna check on the download. Still not done. Incredible. The universe is giving me time. This 2 is solved. That 3 is solved. Right. 3, 2, 1. 1, 3, 2. Tough. Well, it must be these. So the 3 must be there. 1. Yeah. 2. 2 must be here. Wait. This 3 must be here. Oh, no. It could be here. And then it'll not affect that. Okay. Whoa, that's tough. This 2 could be there. Right, yeah. Let's skip that. 3, 2. Right. 2. This 3 is done. That 3 is done. This 1 is done. This 1 is done. This 1 goes here, this 2 goes there, that 3 makes it tough. Right, one of these must be... This 2 is solved. There you go. 4, 4. Wow. 2 solved, 3, 1 solved. 3, 4. 3, 4. 2, 2, 2. Oh no. Oh no. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no. Okay, there's 5 flags, 5 mines remaining. I don't know. Those could be empty. Let's big brain this for a moment. So there's 1 bomb in one of these 2 for this 1 specifically, and no matter which it is, it affects this 1, right? Which means there cannot be a bomb there if there's bombs here. If there cannot be a bomb there, where would the 2 get its bomb? Here. Right? So it could be like this, or it could be like that. That's a 50-50. Is it? Wait. Okay, let's figure out this top one. I guess I could do the same thing, right? It's either of these two, and then there's nothing here. Wait. There's nothing here. Okay, let's do top first. 2, well, okay, not, well, oh, actually, we had that clue from a while, okay. 1 opens that, 3 there, okay. This time, it's 2, so remember our assumption was either this or that. It's still the same ambiguity. But no matter what, this 2's bomb is either gonna be in these 2 spots, which means these 3 are free. Look at that. Do we know the bomb here yet? If it's this, oh well, it's gotta be that, because then, you know, this is 5, right? So this 2 is done. That one goes there. This one unlocks. There we go. And our download's done. Awesome. Let's get back to game development. Let's delete this. Okay. So as Bracky's here said, let's go back.
Projects. I'll just press where you remember. Huge advantage of Godot. It's extremely lightweight and can even run in the browser. Now, you might want to unzip this folder and place it somewhere you remember.
Okay, let's unzip it and then put it somewhere I remember. Yeah, documents. Good enough. My hard drive is not partitioned. Everything is in C. We love documents. And then extract that. Continue.
But other than that, we're ready to open up Godot. So let's double click it. And it's going to ask us if we want to look at some example projects.
Actually, scratch that. I'm not going to put it in documents. I'm going to put it in program files. Good old program files. Right? There we go. This might be not a good idea either. But whatever. Okay.
I'll just press cancel.
Okay, so what?
And it's going to ask us, other than that, we're ready to open up Godot. So let's double click it. And
okay, double click the big file. 150 megabytes. I'm gonna be using the one in program files. The brackets here didn't specify where to put the engine, so I'm gonna put it in program files. If it ends up not working, well then I guess you should have made that clear, man.
And it's going to ask us if we want to look at some example projects. I'll just press cancel. Then we can press new. Name our project, say first game.
Okay, new. Let's call this first game. And then let's put it in program files. Okay.
I'm going to place mine on my desktop under my games folder. Let's create a separate folder for first game, so hit create folder.
Oh, I should probably do that. Create a games folder. Let's see here. Yep, put it in the games folder. Create folder, yes.
And create an edit.
And create an edit. Ooh, you're given version control immediately. let's look at the details here. I want to make sure that this window and my window looks the same. So renderer forward plus, those are descriptions on the right, and then version control metadata git. Okay. Now this is where my bias. Okay. Before I talk about my bias, the engine straight up said couldn't create project directory, check permissions. So I guess we're not doing it in program files. Let's move up. New folder here. Godot. Games. Yeah. Good thing I haven't started sharing here. Because I'm going to create a third copy. And I'm putting it straight in C. That's right. Sailing the high seas. So not documents. Okay, create new project. Oh, thanks, NVIDIA overlay. I don't know why it showed up, but it brought live split to the front. Who knows? Right, go do it. Games, current folder, first game. I'm going to copy exactly what Bracky's here is doing, although with a different version of Go Do It. Okay, it's setting up. The moment it's set up, I'll put it in OBS. Okay.
Game. I'm gonna place mine on my desktop under my games folder. Let's create a separate folder for first game, so hit create folder and create an edit. And here we are.
Okay, I'm gonna wait until my engine looks like this. Oh, and it has. Okay, first order of business, I'm moving this video over. Wow, you become huge. Huh? Oh. Yeah, that's cute. Alright. Yeah, let's close minesweeper. So we have our video there, and I'm going to add I'll do a window capture. Whoops. We do it. Not live split, but thanks. Okay. Ooh, that's concerning. It's not capturing. Do I have to be active? No. Capturing method. Okay. 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 And center this. There we go. Okay. Now the last thing that I want to do is actually put edge on top, and I should have done this earlier, but I'm going to add a hotkey to toggle the visibility of edge. Okay. Audio, no. App capture. Here we go. Show numpad 1. Hide numpad 2. 1. Okay. Let's see if this works. Cool. Cool. Okay, let's go back to the YouTube video. Where is it? Ah, there it is. It's on my second monitor. Forgot. Wait, that means I can bring it back. Yes.
Clean slate. A blank canvas. Oh, I am so ready to make this game about... Well, this might be a good time to decide what our game will be about. But first, this video is sponsored by Zenva. If you're excited, immediate course is how they interactive quizzes. Zenva also has the single subscription. Use the coupon existing site to start your game dev adventure. So, in the spirit of learning the basics of the engine and giving you an overview of how you can start using it to make things, I've put together the most basic game I could imagine. Think of it like food without salt. It doesn't have much flavor, but it does have a player, enemies, moving platforms, collectible coins, and most importantly, it should get you familiar with the engine in no time. Also, we'll be working in 2D, but another really cool thing about Godot is that it's very easy to transfer 2D concepts to 3D. So don't worry, if your dream game is in 3D, most of what you learn here is going to directly apply. As for programming, Godot uses its own scripting language called GDScript. It's pretty fast and easy to use, but still quite powerful. We'll do a bit of programming in this video to get you started, but the main focus is really to get familiar with Godot as a whole and to quickly get a game up and running. Because of this, I don't expect you to fully understand all the code you see. Feel free to write after me or just lean back and observe. Our next video will be about learning to program in GDScript. Alright, I promised you food without salt, so let's get cooking.
Very charming.
Now to make our delicious game, we need ingredients. We need things like sprites, models, textures, and sounds. These are called assets, and a game engine like Godot is not so much made for creating these from scratch, but more for putting everything together. It's really the stirring pot of making a game. Now, since I can't expect you to go shopping for assets at your local supermarket, I've used a bit of TV magic to prepare some beforehand. You can download them for free using the link below. I've bundled together sprites from the amazing Analog Studios and modified them a bit along with a pixel font, some custom sounds, and a cute little music track. It's also perfectly fine to use other assets you find on the internet. There are many great resources for free assets, just make sure you check the license and give proper credit to the author. CC0 means that the asset is completely free to use and there's no requirement to credit. That being said, making your own assets is one of the places where you can really get creative, and I highly recommend you try it out as soon as you feel comfortable. Remember, you can always use these assets as placeholders and then modify or replace them later. Alright, let's get our...
I should have watched and then downloaded this while I was downloading the engine. Well, better late than never. Oh, it's 1 megabyte. Never mind. Yeah, it's done. Okay.
Our assets into Godot. Importing assets in Godot is extremely simple. The file system window is where we have all the files we use in our game. By default, the only thing is
File system window. Let's check that. 2. Yeah, there we go. Ah, there it is. Bottom left. So, if you've used Unity before, I think you would have this on the bottom of your screen. Here, it's on the bottom left. Of course, I'm pretty sure you can drag this around, although I'm not gonna try that yet. That's just like I know that from convention.
in here is the Godot icon. So let's create a game. And even though it's empty in place, do that. To make any assets as by default, the only thing in here is the Godot icon. So let's create a folder where we can put our assets. Let's right click, new folder, and name it assets. Let's also make one for scripts and scenes that we can use later. Now we can simply...
I want to try something real quick. If I pull this down... Oh, it does just hide. Okay, then I don't need that whole numpad 1 stuff. what were we doing? New folder, assets, right. And
The file system window is where we have all the files we use in our game. By default, the only thing in here is the Godot icon. So let's create a folder where we can put our assets. Let's right click, new folder, and name it assets. Let's also make one for scripts and scenes that we can use later. Now we can
okay, scripts and scenes. I have no idea what those are for. I have an idea, actually, but I'm not gonna assume anything.
we can simply drag and drop our assets into the asset folder. So I'll select the assets folder, open up my assets here. I'm going to select all the subfolders and click and drag them into Godot. And voila! We can now see and use.
Oh, okay. So, let's see here. I downloaded the assets. Let me just put them in... Do I want to put them in documents? Now let's put them in C. Yeah, root folder. We love root folder. Okay. So I know you can't see it, but I'm doing what Brachis is doing here. So click the assets folder. Oops. There you go. Click the assets folder and then open the folder and then drag everything in, including the license and credits. There it is. Can I open this? Awesome. Creative Commons 0. Thanks, Brachis. Man, I sure hope I can change this font. Okay. I've done something curious here. I have went outside of the tutorial. I have double clicked this thing, and now I don't know how to go back to the start. Well, there's a lot of things on the screen that I could prod around with, so I'm gonna start doing that. But if you're just starting out with game development, I guess this could be like a hang-up, because you won't know where to begin. Now with game engines like this, it's usually up here. So I can see 2D script, right? I know the text files are technically for, not technically, usually for scripting. That's why I know that going to 3D here brings us back. But I'm pretty sure Brachis is going to explain the whole user interface here. So let's go back to the license and credits and assume, and not assume, just we'll see whether Brachis brings us back to where we need to be.
Use all of our assets in Godot. So now we're ready to make our game. So let's talk about how we do that. To make anything in Godot, we use nodes. If we want to make a player character, we do so.
Okay, hold up. I did prepare this. I don't know whether you can heard that just now. I took a notebook out. Yeah, so another thing I like to do when learning something new is just write stuff down. So what did Brachis say again? To make anything, we use nodes. So, for anything. I'm not gonna show my notebook on the stream, nor am I gonna note down stuff in a digital manner. I just don't like doing that.
So by putting together a bunch of nodes. If we want to make an enemy, we do so by putting together nodes. If we want to make a main menu, you guessed it, we use nodes.
Okay, that's interesting. So he said to make a player use many nodes. So not just one node. It's not a player is a node, a player is made up of nodes. Same with enemies. Same with menus. Okay.
So nodes are the fundamental building blocks of your game. And nodes come in many types. Some display an image, others play a sound or add physics. And we can even extend existing nodes to build more powerful ones. So in its essence, making a game in Godot is combining an
Okay, I don't know what that means. Extend. I guess I'll look into it. Other programming languages have this keyword called extend. He said we could extend nodes to make more complex stuff. I don't know what that means right now. I have an assumption of what it could mean, but assumption is deadly in programming. So I'm just gonna see what that actually means whenever he decides to explain it.
Extending nodes to get the result we're looking for. It's a super creative and fun process. But building everything in one big world with nodes for the player, enemies, UI, and a bunch of levels all in one place would quickly become completely unmanageable and confusing. Instead, we use scenes. Scenes allow us to bundle together nodes into reusable packages. A scene can be a character, a weapon,
Bundle of nodes.
a menu. They can be as small as a single collectible coin or an entire level. Scenes make it.
Ooh, interesting. So earlier when I said players are made up of many nodes, this collection of nodes is called a scene. See, here's an example of how assumption is deadly in programming. And why, if you're new to this, don't assume anything. Just look something up. In Unity, there are also things called scenes. Unity is another game engine, by the way. There is stuff called scenes. And those are actual scenes, like you would imagine a movie having scenes, right? There's scenarios where you put your player, your enemies, your level, basically. One level is one scene, at least until the camera cuts. You might have a scene for a cutscene, for example, where everything is animated, or you might have a gameplay scene. But for a player itself, or a coin, or a sword, you wouldn't make scenes, you would make objects, right? But here, scenes are also those things. So if you came in and saw the word scene and expected it to work like how it did in Unity, you'd have a rough time. So stop assuming.
It really easy to focus on building one part of our game at a time, and then slowly combining them to make our game larger and larger. This is because we can put scenes inside of other scenes, which is called nesting, and allows us.
Interesting. I guess that's how you would put a player in a level, right? If a level is a scene and a player is a scene, then to put a player in a level, you need to put a scene in scene. Makes sense so far? Nesting scenes. Alright.
Just to take, say, a player scene, a platform scene, and a collectible coin scene, and put them all inside of another scene, say a level 1 scene.
Right.
And even cooler, since scenes are reusable, we can make a scene only once and then use it all over our game. We can make many levels that all use the same collectible coin scene. And if we want to change something about our coin, we simply edit the scene and it automatically updates everywhere else. As you can see, all the nodes and scenes in our game start to resemble a tree-like structure. And that's exactly what we call it, the scene tree. And fittingly, we call the node at the very beginning of the tree the root. So now that we know a bit about how Godot works, let's start by making the most essential part of our game, the player character. Player 1.0. So let's create a scene where we'll put everything together. This is going to be a 2D game, so I'll select 2D scene. And let's...
Wow, I didn't even realize that. Let's go back to the engine. Here, so he said that scenes inside scenes look like trees, the structure that you end up with. And the first scene, the base node of the whole scene is the root node. And here it says create root node. That's awesome. Okay, but actually what is he doing?
Put everything together. This is going to be a 2D game, so I'll select 2D scene. And let's rename this from node 2D to game. And
classic. 2D node 2D game. Oh, I forgot to show you. Right. So I made that just now, did exactly what they did.
And even though it's empty, let's go ahead and save it. So hit Ctrl S, go under scenes, and let's save it here. And now...
Okay. I already forgot what they just did.
And save it. So hit Ctrl S, go under scenes, and let's save it here.
Okay. Control S. Oops. I keep forgetting to minimize. There we go. Control S. Click scene. And then save. Alright, because it's a scene, we're saving it in the scenes. Oh, there it is. Okay.
And now we can actually play our game. It's not going to be very exciting, but let's try it out. So let's hit play up here or simply press F5. It's going to tell us that we haven't selected a main scene. We need to tell Godot which scene to run. I'm just going to press select current, and you can see that our game scene becomes blue to let us know that this is now our main scene. And
okay. So we can press, oh, yep, that button is there. And then select the current scene. And there it is, debug. A window popped up here. It's not popping up on OBS, but let's see if I can capture it. No? Okay. Window capture. What is this called? This? No. Well. It just isn't showing up. Let's try. Well, it's a game, right? It's a debug game, but it is a game. Oh, really? Specific window. This one. This one. Ooh, wait, actually that might be it, right? Because it's just gray. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna center it like this, transform, edit, so that it is aligned to the center, and then center it again. There we go. And then I will put it above the engine and then just close it. Okay.
And as you can see, not much is happening here. So let's stop playing by hitting the stop icon here or pressing F8. And let's put in a
Ooh, I didn't do that. I closed the window.
player to make it more exciting. So first off, let's create a new scene by hitting the plus sign up here. And this will
Okay. Well, this plus sign is still here. A new scene. Let's continue.
be our player scene. And the root node for our player is going to be what is called a character body 2D. So let's
Okay, I'm gonna note that down. For the player, root node is character body 2D, because we are in 2D, I assume. But maybe don't assume. So what do we do?
add a new node by pressing the plus here or hitting Ctrl A. And let's search for character body 2D. As you can see, this is a 2D physics body that is specialized for characters moved by script. So
Okay.
it's perfect for a player character that we want to be able to collide with the environment. So let's hit create. And now we can see our node here, but we can't actually see our player in the scene. So
Right. Let's do that. So we've created a new scene. We'll add a character body 2D. Create. Okay. We even have the error sign that Bracky sees.
let's add some graphics. Let's add another node. I'm going to hit Ctrl A. And let's search for sprite. And as you can see, we can choose a single sprite, or in our case, we want to create an animated character. So
Okay. Sprite 2D for visuals.
let's choose the animated sprite 2D. Sprites are just what we call images in our 2D world. Now,
Alright. I keep forgetting to minimize. It's fine. I'll remember someday. Okay. He pressed Control A. I'm gonna try this the button again. So what was it called? Sprite 2D. Animated Sprite 2D. Great. Oh yeah, it puts it underneath the character body immediately.
Now, with this node selected, we can use the inspector here on the right to change properties on that node. If we select a different node, say our character body 2D, we can now see the properties on that node instead. So,
Oh, okay. Didn't realize that. So this has the properties of, okay, it says character body 2D, I guess. And then this animated sprite 2D. Okay. Let's go back.
so our inspector allows us to change things about a node. In our animated sprite 2D, we want to add some animations. And we want to give it some sprite frames, the individual frames that will make up our animation. So let's click here and add a new sprite frames. And now with this selected, we can see that it will open up the sprite frames window at the bottom. And in this window, we're going to press this tiny icon here that lets us add frames from a sprite sheet. So let's click that, go into our assets, under our sprites. Let's
Okay. I'm not gonna remember this. So we go here, animation, and then we're gonna add sprite frames. I already forgot. Let's go back.
sheet. So we're going to press that it will open and add a new sprite frames.
Okay, new. I guess because we're not loading an old one. Okay. I forgot to minimize. And then if I click it, right here. And then
And now with this selected, we can see that it will open up the sprite frames window at the bottom. And in this window, we're going to press this tiny icon here that lets us add frames from a sprite sheet. So let's click that, go into our assets, under our sprites, let's find our knight.png.
Okay. So we go here, frames, assets, sprites. Yeah, the knight. Okay. Oh.
And as you can see, I've gone ahead and packed all the different sprite frames of the knight's animation into a single image. This is called a sprite sheet. It's a very efficient way of working with lots of sprites, such as when doing animation. Otherwise, we would have to create an image for each single frame, which would quickly become an unmanageable amount of files. Now to start adding these frames in, we first need to configure the grid here. Currently it's set to 4 by 4. Let's go ahead and increase this. I've created an 8 by 8 grid here. And as
Okay. 8. Oh, you can't see this window. It's fine. I'm doing exactly what Brackeys is doing.
you can see, each frame now has its own grid cell. And let's just start by adding the idle animation. To do this, we simply click the frames in the order that we would like. So I'm going to go from the left-hand side here and click.
Split, then click in order. Interesting.
As you can see, it says this to 0, the first frame. Then I'm going to click the next one and the next one and the next one. And now it goes from 0 to 3 and we'll play from left to right. We can always click again to remove. And this is how you can quickly build an animation from different parts of your sprite sheet. So I'll select these 4 frames and hit Add Frames. Now let's hit F to center our character on the screen. And
Okay. 0, 1, 2, 3, add 4 frames. So now it's down here, but our view is still on the script. Kind of a bummer.
And I'm going to use the scroll wheel to zoom in.
Okay, at this point, I think it's high time I go back to the 2D view. Because I'm not supposed to be in this view in the first place if I followed the tutorial exactly. Because Brackeys never went here. So, we're back here. Okay, F to center. And then scroll wheel to zoom in. Other apps, usually scroll wheel goes up and down. Like this. And then shift scroll wheel goes left and right. How do you zoom in? Control scroll wheel. So I'm gonna try that now, and I want to see what happens. So the behaviors shifted. Control scroll wheel up and down, and what does shift scroll wheel do? Nothing. Wait, really? Control shift? Okay. Control shift moves it left and right. So control up and down, control shift left and right. Just scroll wheel is zoom. Let's get back to the video.
We can also click and drag with the middle mouse button to pan.
Ooh, middle mouse. Whoa. Okay. Yeah.
Now our character looks weirdly blurry. That's because we're
Wait. I want to check something. Recently, I watched that Tentacruel video about Finale, how creative software dies. One small section about that is him ranting about the undo button, how you should have an undo button. Earlier, when I accidentally moved this knight, I instinctively pressed Ctrl Z because that's a common undo shortcut in many different applications. But if you don't know that shortcut, then you might try and find a button for an undo. On the top right here, no. Usually it's in the corners and it looks like a back arrow somewhere. Here it's animation frames. If I hover over these, play animation, no. Move frame, no. Something did catch my eye as a UI designer. Here, this button, go to previous edited object in history. Oh, huh. Yeah, so that highlighted the character body to the scene. So it went from my animated. I'm editing this, right? The visual, and then it went to the root node. I guess it'll go back and forth. I still don't see undo. How about this back button? Previous selected folder or file. Okay, let's start up here with the ribbons. Scene. Ah, there it is. Undo, and it does tell you the button combination, so that's good. But it'll be better if there's an undo button up here though. Oh, what's this actually? History. Ooh, interesting. Okay, it's just pop up. I guess it makes sense because I'm not quite sure what this viewport is supposed to be. If it's some kind of editing place, it would make sense to have an undo button somewhere around here, right? It wouldn't make so much sense for it to be here in the inspector panel. The problem is just that I don't see one. That might be me being blind though. Let's go back to the video.
Working with pixel art, which requires really hard edges. By default, Godot is going to try to do some texture smoothing to make textures look better, but applied to pixel art, that is definitely not the case. So let's simply disable this. So let's go to Project, Project Settings. Let's go under Rendering to Text.
Okay, Project Settings. I forget to minimize. Project Settings, and then Rendering Textures, right?
Textures. And here on the default texture filter, let's change this from linear to nearest.
Okay, default texture filter, this one, the first one, linear to nearest. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot you can't see this window. Yeah, you just saw the night get very sharp just now. That's because I changed it.
Which will immediately make our pixel art look crisp. Then we can select our animated sprite. And let's try.
Okay. I'll go back to the engine. I'll close this window. And then... Okay. I'm gonna zoom out. Also, I don't know whether you can see this or not. Oh yeah, you can. These lines on the edge of the knight, I know where they come from. They come from AI upscaling or algorithms. I guess this engine has them on by default, right? But if you did not know that and you have never played a game with AI upscaling, I think in this case DLSS, or you just haven't noticed, you might be scratching your head why this is like that. So that's another caveat. The second caveat, right, is that you won't be able to understand these small details, right? You might start assuming that, oh, I must have imported it wrong, or the engine is glitching or something. I must have done something wrong, right? Because the video doesn't look like that, right? But you can only get those feelings if you don't follow the video exactly. So far, I'm following Bracky's videos exactly, and not any problems in understanding it. So let's continue.
Playing the animation. That looks great.
Oh, what did he do?
Then we can select our animated sprite. And let's try playing the animation. That looks great. I'm gonna increase the...
Okay, he pressed the button down here to play the animation. Let's see. Okay, yeah. The knight moves.
the FPS here to 10 to make it go a bit faster.
Okay. Setting the FPS, huh? Right. Then. Okay. Actually, I don't like how the upscaling looks. I'm gonna attempt to find it myself. But if I cannot find it, I'll just Google it. Let's see. Editor. Editor settings. DLSS. No. Upscaling? No. Okay, not here then. Project settings, I guess. DLSS? Nope. Upscaling? No. Alright, I'll look into it later.
I'm also going to rename the animation here to idle. I'm gonna enable autoplay to make sure it plays right when we start the game. And finally, I'm gonna take the sprite here and move it up to make it kind of stand on this line. And that's it for...
Okay. Let's minimize the window. There we go. Name it idle. I'll play it to check the speed. It is looping, although you can turn it off. Interesting. Squat. Many squats in a row. Autoplay on load. Okay. It says specifically autoplay on load. Huh. Curious. And then move it up. Too far? There we go. And then
For our graphics for now, we'll add more animations later. But as you can see, we're currently getting this warning here in the scene view. And if I hover over it, it's going to say that this node has no shape, so it can't collide or interact with other objects. And this is because a character body 2D is a physics node. And whenever we're working with physics, we need to define a shape that the physics engine can work with. So let's add a new node. I'm going to press the plus sign here. I'm going to search for collision shape 2D, hit create. And here in the inspector, we can now define a new shape. I'm going to add...
Okay, let's do that slowly. First, add a shape. Collision shape 2D. Is it supposed to be under the animated sprite? No. Okay. So I've attempted to do something the same, but something different has happened. Let's see if I can reorder this. Okay, I can. But let's say I don't know how to do that. Let me review the video. Okay. So what did he do?
I'm going to press the plus sign here.
No, not yet.
Interact with other objects. And this is because a character body 2D is a physics node. And whenever we're working with physics, we need to define a shape that the physics engine can work with. So let's add a new node. I'm going to press the plus sign here.
Nothing. I think... Okay, I forgot to minimize again. I think what happened was... So, you see on Bracky's screen, the animation panel was no longer there. Right? I still had this, the animated sprite 2D, selected, but Brackeys didn't. So let's see what happens when I don't have it selected. I press plus, collision shape, create, then it puts it outside, which is what I wanted to do. However, if I do have this selected, then the collision shape gets put under the sprite, which currently I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing or a neutral thing, but it's definitely not what the tutorial's doing, so I'm going to delete that. And let me try one more thing. If I select the character body, whether it'll put it correctly. Okay, it did. Now there's another error. Collision shape. I did pick the right object, right?
I'm going to search for collision shape 2D, hit create. And here in the inspector, we can now define a new shape. I'm going to add a circle shape. I'm going to...
Okay, circle shape. Shape, circle shape. And then what?
Make this a bit smaller and drag it up. Somewhere around there looks fine. Now you're probably thinking, well...
Okay, so quite small. 1 pixel smaller than the night. Actually, this is kind of annoying. Okay. Pick frame 0, yes. And then move this upwards. Cool.
This is pretty far from our actual graphics, but that's totally fine. Colliders rarely need to be very precise, and it's a good rule of thumb to make them a bit smaller than the graphics if you need to. Having colliders that are too large is simply going to be frustrating when playing. So let's now rename the top node here to player. And let's save the scene, Ctrl S, as player, hit save. And now
Okay. So how do I rename this? Oh, I just click it again? Okay. Player. Brackeys didn't specify how you rename stuff. I think what he did was right click and then press this, rename. Or as you can see, there is a shortcut, F2, which is a universal shortcut. You can do this in your file explorer. Other than that, you know, because he didn't specify how, I just started experimenting. Let's see, can I just click it again and then it worked? But if it hadn't worked, then I'll try, okay, what's the next thing? Right clicking. And then if I have exhausted any options that I might know, I'll look it up online. Okay? So now I have this as player, and then he told me to save. So Control S and then call it player, save. Then we have it in the scenes. Okay, awesome.
we can go into our game scene and simply drag our player in here. So I'm going to go to the top here and drag in the player. We also need to create a camera so that we can control what is currently being shown.
Okay, let's do that. Let's drag the player in the game. Minimize Daco. Minimize player. Whoop. Middle click to pan.
So let's add a new node, hit Control A, search for camera 2D, hit create, and now if we
Okay, interesting. The camera is a node, not a scene. I'm gonna note that down. Camera 2D is a node. Basically, my question about that currently is how much control do you have over the camera? I'm pretty sure Brackeys here is gonna get through it, but having it be a node instead of a scene kind of has me on edge. But again, it's better to not assume. So let's game it out. Camera 2D, create, right. And then what?
Press F, we can see that we have this huge camera viewport. This
Press F, huh? That centers, but he did zoom out and then, yeah, huge viewport. That's right.
is definitely currently too large, so let's zoom in on our camera. I'm gonna set the zoom here to 4x4. And
okay, 4x4 zoom. Now click on the left to bring the inspector on the right. Zoom 4x4. Okay. That's nice.
And simply click and drag our camera to be on top of the player. And now we can try.
Ooh. Okay. I'll do that. I'll actually move the player here to make it clearer that I've moved the camera. And then I'm gonna click like this back to the
Try
video.
playing our game. And there you go. We now have a player that is playing an idle animation and nothing else is happening. That's because
Cool. Let's try that. We press play. Okay, I'll tell you right now. It does look like that. But the window's not showing up here. Huh? There we go. Window title must match. Right. Actually, I'm gonna try this one more time. So that is the engine window. This is the game window. I think you can see my cursor there. And you can also see that the Knight is kind of not feeling too well. There are broken lines in here. I'm not too sure what's up again about that. Must be some kind of rendering issue. Right, I'm gonna try this one more time. If I press play, creates a window. Oh, there you go, it shows up. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is OBS playing tricks on me? Why this? Oh, this is very interesting. The Knight looks fine. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. But anyway, what it seems to be showing me right now is that this window, the night only looks borked on my end. Because on OBS, the night looks fine. Anyway, let's go back to the video. Does that mean that these things don't show up on OBS? No, they do. You can see. Huh. Okay then. Why are you not showing my mouse? Oh, there we go. Right, yeah, you can see that. Anyway, back to this.
Because we need to add a script that allows us to move around. So let's close our game, go into our player scene, and with our player node selected, let's press this Add Script button. Here we can choose a template.
Okay, so here he did specify to click something first. So
Of course, we're going to do some programming in this video, but here we can choose a template. Of course, we're going to do some programming in this video, but writing player movement can quickly become a bit overwhelming. So for now, we'll use the basic movement template provided by Godot. Then later, we'll go in and modify it to play different animations and rebind input to the keys we'd like to use. As for the path here, I'm going to make sure that we put this inside of our scripts folder, and let's just name it player. Let's hit create. And as you can see, this creates a...
okay, let's do that. So, click the player. Wait, one thing. Is he in the game scene or in the player scene? Ah, he's in the player scene because we're editing the player. So, player scene, click player, add script. So this button is different from the other button. Anyway, let's just name it player GD script. It's fine. Inherits character body template. Basic movement. Okay. Great. Now we're in the script window. Or view or something. I don't know what it's called.
Folder. And let's just name it player. Let's hit create. And as you can see, this creates a script that will move around our character. I know that this might look really confusing at first, but don't worry, we'll have a look at what all this means later. For now, let's just try playing. And our player immediately falls off the screen. That's because we need to give him a collider to stand on. Right now, our player has a collider, but it doesn't have anything to collide with. So in our game, I'm going to go back to the 2D view at the top here. This is where we can change from script view to 2D.
Also, I'm holding a desire of explaining what this script does. Because I want to, but at the same time, this is a language that I do not understand. So actually, all of my explanation is going to be assumptions, which is deadly. So I'm not going to do that. Let's go back to the video. I miss a few words.
Go back to the 2D view, but it doesn't have anything to collide with. So in our game, I'm going to go back to the 2D view at the...
Okay, that's the first time Brakis has showed us how to go from script back to 2D. And it also is named view. So we have a 2D view and script view, I assume.
Top here, this is where we can change from script view to 2D. Let's add a new node. So let's hit the plus sign. Let's add a static body 2D. And this is another type of physics body.
So we're in a game, static body 2D.
Body, it's the one we use for things that don't need to move. That's why.
Okay. Add static body 2D. Now, static in English means unmoving, right? But in software engineering, we kind of hijacked the meaning to be something else. So seeing static here to mean unmoving is kind of jarring for me personally. But I think it's a good move. The way we use the word static in software engineering kind of sucks. I hate it. Alright, let's go back to the video.
Why it's called static. So it's perfect for creating some ground. Let's hit create. And again, this is going to give us this warning here that it needs a shape. So let's add a collision shape. So I'm going to hit Control A, search for collision shape. And for the shape here, we're going to create a new world boundary shape. The world boundary is a type of collider that is perfect for stuff like, well, world boundaries.
Okay, so a few steps here. First, add a collision to the... Now I could press this button again, but I right click out of instinct, and it does say add child node. I had a bit of a discomfort seeing just this one button being able to create basically a root node or a child to like the root node or a child to a different node. So for example, I want to add a... Wait a minute. Oh, I put this in the wrong place. Oh, my bad. It's in game. There we go. Let me add a node static body. There we go. So here I'm adding a node under the static body 2D node, right? I'm creating a collision shape 2D under it, which is strictly different than the player, which has the collision shape under it, but also has other things under it. Remember when I accidentally put this under animated sprite and how that's not so bueno. Alright, so let me just put that back how it is. So, but here it's nested like this. So the tree begins, right? Collision shape, and then the second part of what Raki said is world boundary 2D. Okay. Let's zoom out. Ooh, that looks cool. Alright, let's continue the video.
Because it's going to extend infinitely on the horizontal axis here. So as you can see, it's currently pointing up. We could also point it to the side here, and now it's going to extend infinitely on the vertical. I'm going to hit Ctrl Z to undo that. Instead, I'm going to select the entire static body here. I'm going to change to the Move tool by pressing this icon here or simply W on the keyboard. And I'm going to move it down under our character.
Okay, let's do that. So not the collision shape under static body, but the static body itself. I'm going to move using the Move tool underneath our knight. Okay, let's go back.
I'm going to go back to our Select tool, which is here, or simply press Q. And while our collider doesn't have any graphics, it's going to be invisible, we can now play.
Okay.
And there we go. Our player now gently lands on the collider, and we can move around using the arrow keys and jump with the spacebar. Now,
let's try that. So, we have our New World Order, world boundary here. And it says that our player is supposed to collide with it. Let's test it. Oh, yep, it does. And also, look, OBS picked it up. Now let's try this new thing. Right, the player control. Left, right. Oh, it's actually working. I don't have a way of showing keyboard inputs currently on OBS, but I think it's fine. You should just take my word for it. I am pressing left and right, and up does nothing, down does nothing. Space does jump. It's a single height jump, but it's a jump. Alright, beautiful. I'm gonna close that and go back to the video.
our player is currently a bit too fast, and I think his jump is a bit too high, so let's modify our script to change that. Let's close our game,
coding.
Go into our script, And at the top here, there are two constants.
Okay, quickly, he zoomed in. He didn't tell me what to press. I'm gonna try a few things. First of all, I'm gonna need to minimize the window. So if I go to script here, okay. So this script view is interesting because it is a whole IDE. That's what we call it. It's a whole text editor inside of the game editor. Now currently we have the script here of player.gd. That's what it seems to be, but we still have the tabs of the different scenes. So what's the difference in here? That confuses me a little bit, and that kind of scares me. Like here in the 2D view, it's kind of obvious. The player shows just the player scene, but the game shows everything. The player scene within the game scene and the static body and the camera. But I guess we did add the script here, huh? Well, no. There it is. Player. It has a script. Script is player.gd. So I guess if I want to edit that, and keeping in mind there's only one script which I put in the wrong place. What the hell? Let's move you. Does that still work? Let's try it. Okay, it does. Okay. Anyway, I guess it doesn't matter what tab we're on. For now, to be safe, I'll be on the player tab. I don't want this here, so I'll click the player. Can I affect it? Oh my goodness. Ooh, that's jack. Anyway, back to the video.
Instance that we can modify.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the zooming. Okay, it's not scroll wheel. Is it control scroll wheel? Yeah, control scroll wheel.
Our speed as well as our jump velocity. So I'm going to set the speed to something less, like 130, and the jump velocity to say -300. And now when we play...
Okay. There might be a reason why it's negative. I have assumptions, but I'm just going to roll with it for now. So 130, 300, and then press play. Yep, that is slower. That is slower. Cool.
It looks and feels a lot better. So our player is moving around, but currently there's not much to look at. So let's build a world to explore. Worldbuilding 1.0. So to build our world, let's begin.
Okay. I have been streaming for nearly 2 hours now. And I'm only 17 minutes into the video. Granted, half of this stream is me downloading the damn engine and playing Minesweeper. But I'm gonna be real, it is quite late in the afternoon. I need to go. I'll continue this series. This has been fun. Again, we're 17 minutes in. I think I'll continue tomorrow. Thank you for coming here with me, checking this stuff out. Yeah, but I don't know what to say. I just want to be done for the day. You know, I don't have to do everything at the same time. I can do it tomorrow. I can do it the day after that. Because, you know, I'm doing this as a hobby, at least currently. So, why push myself, right? Again, thanks for coming. If anyone's watching live, I'm not really checking right now. But if you're watching the VOD, thanks for watching. This must be very slow because there are a lot of times where I just up and left and didn't say anything. But again, I should add chapters. At least I should add timestamps where you can skip to certain places. Right? Especially long silences. So, I'll see you later then. Bye bye.